Welcome to the Social Plunge, your blueprint for plumbing and HVAC businesses' social media optimization, with your marketing masterminds, Stephen and Michelle.
Hello, this is Greg Joyce of Schuler Services Incorporated. We are a proud client of plumbing and HVAC SEO, and you're listening to the Social Plunge.
That is correct, podcast listeners. We are back. This is the Social Plunge, episode 17, blog headlines, part 2. In the previous episode, we had we talked about blog headlines and your blog strategy in episode 16. I'm here with Michelle Martin.
Hey, everyone. Glad to be back to share some exciting blog titles with you. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty today.
Nitty-gritty is correct. We actually have a plethora of information. We're going to try and run through this as quickly as we can, but also as efficiently as we can. And Michelle, we actually have a really cool episode actually in store for us, and we actually have some really cool news in regards to Facebook.
We certainly do. First things first, Facebook actually changed their 20% rule. So if you've listened to previous episodes about Facebook advertising, you probably know that there are some stipulations that tend to get people's ads flagged or discontinued on Facebook. But they have just removed the rule.
It's amazing.
Yes. So it's pretty exciting. You can have enormous text if you want to. So yeah, that's pretty neat.
Huge. Honestly, this is huge. There's a lot of agencies that their ads were getting flagged because, they were using too much text. They were actually incorporating designs within the text. They were also getting flagged because there was, too much description within the text.
Or as far as the logo was too big.
The logo was too big. And, these ads would get stopped. And
it's kind of for no reason,
it
really.
is a bummer. It is a bummer. But there are some limitations to this 20% text rule that was removed from Facebook. I'm not sure if they've rolled it out just yet, but some of the limitations are if you do have Facebook actually just going to send out a notification as you're creating the ad where it says, okay, you have over 20% text in this image. It's a possibility that you're not going to get the reach that you intend to get because of that rule. So,
and the bigger that your text is, from what I understand, the less likely you are to exactly reach your audience. But if the text is really an important part of the ad, which it might be, then maybe you get the option at least to choose large text over reaching a bigger number of people. Will this ever be you guys? We don't know, but that's pretty cool news.
Yeah, I think it's actually really exciting. I know a lot of our clients, they love text heavy. They want their logo in there. Yeah. They want to make sure that information is on that image.
Yeah, details about their specials.
Yes, of course.
Sort of things like that kind of like are a little difficult to put in the copy and get noticed.
Right.
It's really awesome that now we can include like, hey, this coupon is not valid with any other offer, or, whatever it is that is maybe at the forefront of the special that someone is running on Facebook ads.
Yeah. So just a little segue here. We actually are back in the studio. We are actually going to be doing more videos for you guys. I know it's been a couple episodes since we've come to you guys in person. But this is the first time our viewers are going to be able to see our new setup. We've had this new setup we have the new mics, the new interface, great equipment for you guys to get the pure audio quality of the Social Plunge. So in other news, actually, another news flash from Facebook is the Facebook accessibility update, which is really cool. Pretty much for people that are blind or deaf are actually able to see these photos with the text description by Facebook. So if you're blind and you're looking at and you're fishing through your newsfeed on Facebook, Facebook actually sends these automated voiceover saying this is describing the picture or describing your activity on Facebook. So I think that's really cool. And I think it's actually going to open up a lot of doors. I know we're backtracking here to Oculus Rift, But I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for a lot of different people to actually be a part. It's growing. The community of Facebook is growing now with this accessibility tool that they've presented.
Definitely. I think that now more than ever, accessibility is a really big issue on the internet because there is such a large fraction of people that
there is.
Maybe aren't even necessarily completely blind, but are just legally blind, or maybe becoming legally blind and have certain vision problems that they need cues on the internet to understand what it is that they're seeing. So this came up a lot in WordCamp, actually, and it's becoming a major trend in the realm of digital marketing. So it's something to watch out for and be wary of. You definitely want to be adding image descriptions into your website, but that's not what this episode is about.
Yes.
What this episode is about is part 2 of the blog headlines episode you probably already heard last time. We figured that we would get into actually describing what kinds of headlines you would use, because we've had so many questions about it, and just because it's so important, as we discussed, it's so important to have a great headline, because that's what draws people in the first place. If you're not able to do that, then your content essentially goes to waste.
Or stagnant, It's just kind of just sitting there on the website. But in this episode, we're going to tell you what specific headlines will be eye-catching. Michelle, give us a little synopsis of just kind of let's roll right into it.
Yeah, let's go. So I think that the first thing that we sort of wanted to share with you guys was top lists.
Yes.
And these can be in numerical order. They don't necessarily have to be, but people love lists because they're easy to digest. It's chunks of information that really work as quickly and efficiently as everything else on the World Wide Web. So with top lists, what we usually like to do is trends, useful products, useful tools, useful services, or even just general ideas. If you can chunk your information into a list, which, by the way, virtually every blog can be turned into a list.
Top this, top that,
It gives people a little less anxiety when they decide to click on your link.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they know they're clicking on a list, they know that they can get the general information first, and they don't necessarily have to read all 800 words of your blog. They can just scroll down and skim through and get a general understanding of what it is that you're saying. So it's a great way to draw people in that don't necessarily have all the time in the world to be reading a 1,200 word blog.
It's true. And, you could have a really, really enticing blog. Actually, the content inside the blog is probably very, very appealing. But then you have a headline that's kind of just generic. You're going to get somebody that's going to steer away from that actual blog that you're really trying to get out to your viewers.
Exactly. Just because you failed
at the headline,
getting them in there in the first place. So top lists are amazing. I think that another type of blog that is a little undervalued and underused, but really, really enticing, is the question blog. So typically when we write a blog, we have a question in mind, but it's not always the case that somebody writing it will actually ask the question and pose an answer to that question. Instead, they'll frame the entire blog as the answer to the question, which I think is only half of the story. And if you can really say, hey, why is my hot water this strange milky color? Mm-hmm. Then you can go into various sort of ideas about their water softener, or perhaps that they need to drain their water heater.
Right.
And you can sort of start coming up with all of these possibilities, and that's a more useful blog and a more searchable blog.
Oh, for sure. Within Google, someone's going to, I think a high percentage of people actually go on Google and they type in a question rather than saying, using proper keyword usage or whatever the case is. But generally, I'm guilty of it. I always go into Google, how to do this, how to record this, or how to operate this system,
Exactly. And the how-to is another amazing
that's another one.
Blog topic.
Yes.
With a how-to, it really gives you an opportunity to say just about anything. You can sort of talk about how to unclog your drain, so with the how-tos, a lot of our clients tend to be a little iffy. just because they don't want to give out their secrets to their audience. However, if you explain to someone how to do something that they don't have the tools or the capabilities to actually do, you're merely proving that you can do it and that you can do it well and that you're an authority on the subject.
Right.
So don't necessarily think that because you're writing a how-to that you're going to lose business. In actuality, you're giving yourself authority and making yourself a more reliable figure for whoever's reading this blog.
Yeah. No, of course. And I mean, not even just that. I know we've had some instances with, with clients and not really liking the how-to or the DIY articles, the blog, specifications. But honestly, it comes to a point where a consumer is going to, they're going to read that blog, they're going to soak in that information, and they're going to actually go and try to do this. And then they're going to come along the lines of, okay, well, I'm actually not doing this correctly. I'm failing at doing this. And then I'm going to hire the expert that actually gave me this information.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky, they'll try to do it and mess up, and then you can come in and fix their mistake at double the price.
Double the.
I mean, that's not, that's not why you're going to be writing a how-to blog, obviously.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it just comes down to proving that you are the best, and I mean, a how-to blog is a great way to do that.
Definitely.
And then you can also maybe say how to know that you need blah, blah, blah service.
That's a great one, actually. We've done a couple of those.
Yeah. And this is really great, actually, to integrate with a quiz. So we haven't really talked too much about quizzes on social media, but they're kind of popular and they're kind of interesting because, if you have a how to know how to do X, Y, and Z, you can also include like a quiz about how much you know about X, Y, and Z, or something along those lines. And I think that, quizzes are something definitely that we want to start integrating more with blogs, and just multimedia in general. We've talked about having video content on blogs and having great images, and kind of quizzes and interactive things like that are definitely the next wave in this sort of blog optimization series that we've been doing here on the Social Plunge.
People want to be interactive. They don't want to just, go through and read read something. They actually want to interact.
Yeah. Another how-to is how to avoid something. And like we talked about in the last episode, you have appeals to fear, and then you have other kinds of appeals that are more positive.
Yes.
And I think appeals to fear work really well with how-tos because
scarcity are
you can
really good
show
posts.
Exactly. Yeah. You can show someone something that can go wrong, but then you can also provide a solution for it. And obviously the solution would be to keep your number on hand, or, get a sump pump installed or something like along those lines.
Right. I have here in my notes and it kind of piggybacks off of what we're kind of talking about right now, but the problem solution posts I've seen that actually are really, really good and really heavy as far as, stating the problem and then actually giving them the solution within that content.
That's an awesome kind of post. That will always do well.
Always, yeah.
Because it's practical and it's like you're actually conversing, and we've mentioned countless times, you want to be personable everywhere on the internet. You don't want to sound like a robot. You don't want to sound like your average Joe web page. You want to show that you are above average and that you are real.
It's
across
so true,
the board. And it helps to do this kind of thing along with questions, things that let you bring out your voice and make it a little easier for you to write even. I think it's more exciting to write something if you're writing it as if you were writing it to one of your clients.
Yep.
I'm sure that throughout the day, there are many times that you are just so frustrated and you want to share something with a client and they're not understanding what you're talking about, the kind of thing that they need to be doing, or the certain maintenance that they obviously don't see as important, but that is ruining their HVAC system or destroying their plumbing.
Yeah, and these questions and concerns are always being raised, no matter where you are. I mean, we have a handful of clients that always talk about, our consumers not, or their customers not getting enough information about these specific situations. And we understand that they're not the experts, and that's why they hire you guys. But it's always, and I guess this kind of brings us back to the how-to blog subject. But you want your customers to be knowledgeable as far as getting this information.
Absolutely. And we think it's really just essential to frame it the right way so that
Definitely.
that they can feel when you are writing it, you can feel that you are speaking to someone. They can feel that they're being spoken to, and it just makes for better content. But I guess back to the titles, because this isn't necessarily about the content. That will be future episodes.
Future episode. I know I'm kind of long tailing off here here, Michelle. Sorry.
Great information about content itself, but not yet. So we another type of blog post that I think deserves a little attention is the comparison blog post, and this is a little bit of a rare one too. But if you do it right, it can be really effective. It's
so like in comparison to what, like
this product versus this product.
Okay.
For example. Or, maybe like trenchless sewer repair versus traditional sewer repair. I mean, you can get more creative in that.
Hydrojetting compared to drain cleaning.
Yeah, exactly. You can give people a little bit of background about each.
Right.
It's kind of like you're making 2 blog posts in one.
True.
We've talked about how longer blog posts tend to perform better.
Yep.
And you guys keep saying but it's plumbing and I don't really want to give that many details and I'm not a writer. So, one thing versus another helps. You can even do one thing versus another and have 3 topics and, have a conglomerate of 3 blogs inside one massive post, tie them together with a nice little bow at the end and, have a more effective piece of content that's going to draw more people in.
That's so true. We actually recently, I wouldn't say it was the headline was the top 3 brands on the water heater market. But I was kind of comparing all the different brands, and that actually was great. I really enjoyed putting that blog up because it was just valuable information as far as learning about a brand, learning about these different brands, and actually, hey, I'm trying to make a decision here on what kind of water heater. Also, tankless water heaters, electric water heaters.
Yeah.
That could be a comparison blog.
And I mean, people don't really know about this stuff. You do, but you have to think about the end user. And, it's just it's a quick and easy thing that you can give to your audience. And it's powerful. So aside from that, we have some extra ideas.
Yes.
And these are sort of... they can go with any type of blog, but it's more about enticing, sneaky, exclusive kind of wording, I guess, that you can add to almost any title to make it that much more interesting. For example, framing it as a secret instead of saying, tips or benefits for
the secrets to unclogging your drain.
Benefits of transitioning to a tankless water heater
sounds really enticing, actually.
Yeah, it could be how to secret ways to save money on energy and
efficiency,
water, so on and so forth.
Right.
So framing something as a secret tends to
really
entice
good.
people.
I like that.
As well as unexpected. So I think that for a lot of blog posts, most people might know the answer. They might know already how to save on energy in a general kind of way. But what if you said unexpected ways to save energy in your home? Then people that are already interested in saving energy, that have already read almost all that there is about saving energy, can then decide, hey, maybe I should look at this if they're saying that it's unexpected. Obviously, the caveat with that is, I mean, you would need to actually have unexpected content.
That's true.
But, that's not what we're discussing here. Also, things like interviews tend to be really enticing, especially if you have a great expert in the field, but maybe it can be even just you. 10 questions answered by a professional plumber. Those kinds of things tend to be a little more exciting and a little more personable. And you can just literally ask them to one of your technicians, for example, and literally type everything that they say. And it's a fast and easy blog. It's as if you didn't write anything at all.
That's
I know
true.
A lot of you don't necessarily have a great marketing team like us here
at Plumber SEO, so that is why you should hire us.
Yes, but if you can't, this is a great sort of option for you. And Another one that goes kind of along with secrets, and this is the last one that I have, is the things that no one tells you about. I think that not a lot of people talk about plumbing. Not a lot of people are taught about plumbing.
That
so
is true.
It's technically your responsibility as a plumbing company
Stay
owner
informed.
and as a content producer for your plumbing company that to really share things with people that they don't know. And I mean, you see the problems every day. You already see what they don't know, and you know it because it eats away at you. Like, hey, stop flushing that. No, that's like not flushable. Why don't you make a blog post about it? Share information that you're frustrated about already, and it's almost guaranteed to be a hit because it's useful and it's new.
Yeah, and also case studies as well.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about case studies.
Case studies are huge as far as you could actually take one of your consumers that you put, let's say you installed a water filtration system into their house, and you can do a little case study as far as the before and after of that specific client. So, for instance, if they were in the house with, unpurified water, and now they're here in the new or in the house with, water that's filtrated. That's something to talk about. That's something, and it also will create buzz as far as the service that you are providing. But I have a couple things here before we wrap it up. But I back to headlines. Reason why headlines, big number headlines, questions, target. Make sure that you if you guys are coming up with these headlines, that if you guys are having a water conservation blog and you want to have this big number like how to save 500 gallons of water during this month. I know I've actually read, we've seen it on Pinterest plenty of times, the rain barrel blog post, how to the DIY. I know that's a huge hit.
People love that.
People love that stuff. People love conserving. People love saving money.
Yeah, Pinterest is a great way to get content. If
that
you
is
want
true.
to just steal stuff from Pinterest, it's a phenomenal idea.
It's a great. We've actually talked about Pinterest plenty of times in the previous episodes as far as content curation.
It's good stuff.
But actually, I think we are coming to a wrap here. We're going to be closing out. We really appreciate you guys listening into the Social Plunge episode 17. Is it really episode 17, Michelle? We've come a long way.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah,
it's weird.
We really want to actually give a big shout out to you guys, to our listeners. We actually recently hit over 2,000 downloads. So we really appreciate you guys listening in,
Very
soaking in
exciting.
all this information. We're going to continue giving you guys all this info. I'm actually not sure what we're going to be talking about in the next episode, but I do know episode 20 is going to be our Q&A session. We're going to get in here and we're going to talk about a couple of concerns and questions that some of our followers may have. Some of our clients actually have come to us with these questions. Send
us more stuff.
Yes.
Send us questions. And what really quick before we close it up.
Yes.
Send us some really cool blog titles. Like if you have a great blog headline, we want to hear it. And maybe next episode we'll share some of the cool stuff that you guys have been coming up with, just because, I think it'd be fun and exciting.
Oh, yes, definitely. We would love to we'd love to hear from our listeners.
Yes.
So with that said, Michelle Martin, close us out today.
That was the Social Plunge. That's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. Signing off.
See ya.
Welcome to the Social Plunge, your blueprint for plumbing and HVAC businesses' social media optimization, with your marketing masterminds, Stephen and Michelle.